Okay, first thing, apologies. Let's see if I can get some brighter light into this. Which I can't. Is it bright enough? Yeah, maybe it is, but is it sharp enough? Okay, apologies for screwing up in the cram to get this published when I had to rescue it with JPEGs of all the PDF version of this, and I had screwed up and I had left this as a Gemini. It's saying Gemini instead of Aquarius. So I went in and I edited in new text boxes with the correction. I'll fix that for later versions, but you either do the same or just scratch it out, and I'm sorry. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I haven't looked ahead enough yet to see if I've done it once before, but so that's like, I think that's the third typo that I've found, which all in all, you know, I can live with, but still. So now, empty houses. I want to go back into something about empty houses, because what I figured out, and I had been working on those back in the last week of Gemini, but because I'm hitting empty houses with this, right? Let me get up close to the camera again. Okay, so for example, look, and there's that blotch, that black ink blotch, yeah? So that is also straight into the split between my 6th and 7th. So that I'm gonna just read spiritually into everything, whether or not I should. But so here's where I really know that now we know that empty houses. Now the West likes to say that it's a good thing, and I say that it's not a good thing. I'll stick with the East. They're like, no, you're gonna have to do extra work, because you're gonna have to look for what can help. But in your own life, if you're not tuned into your chart anyway, it's going to be a problem no matter what. So I look at this and I see my childhood. I see 20 years of being stuck, observing, not doing what I want to be doing, but doing what they want me to do. There was certainly a tremendous amount to watch and observe and learn from and absorb, good and bad. But basically, stuck especially in the second house. My second house in either Hole or Ezra has nothing in it, and definitely other people's money and money period have just been, and career. But you see how my 11th in Ezra Regiomontanus is also empty, as is my 5th in Ezra. Now my 5th in Hole has stuff in it, has a couple planets in it, and my third in Hole is empty, but it has stuff in it in Ezra Regiomontanus. Okay, so we balance that. 2 has nothing in either system. My first house, it has Neptune in it in Hole, right? But then we, you know, and that's not necessarily a fun thing. But in terms of, now the question is, do we look to what's aspect? Now I do have an empty Leo constellation, yes. So I have these four pie slices. Well, this pie slice has planets in it, yes, but not in that sign, not in that constellation, I mean, right? Okay, so, and my, let's see what else. So I'm going to pause for a second here. Now I know we're not working, I know we're not working on it, our own, very much on our own placements in the 11th right now. That we're looking at it overall for the time of year, right? But I just wanted to mention, because of the empty houses, because of the ideas as they come to me, that if you look into I'm focusing less, even though I mean I do have Saturn and Mars aspecting by opposing, but by and large what I'm finding is that the solution to this empty house is in the house. The solution is buried under the problem. So you need to know at least, I think you need to know at least half, understand at least half your chart. I think we come as far as we've come. We just follow by example. So how far we are into the book, right? So that you have enough of a grip. You know what your water placements are. You know most of your air. So you've got enough perspective to say, okay, what is highlighted as a problem. What do I know for sure based on what I already do understand about my chart? What do I know for sure? And my own history and the work that we've done with the planets. You look at now, so for 11th house, now whatever houses are empty, look to, this is where this really comes in. These pages, okay? And so I've started, and I figured this out by working on, I think this is the last planet page I needed to do, the Uranus and Saturn co-ruling, okay? And it was in getting all of this figured out according to where we actually are in real time with what you're figuring out. So because I'm working on the Twin Peaks stuff, it took me through chains of thoughts, right? And connecting, and I'm like, yep. So just dot connecting, okay? And that's telling me what the problems are, the events, right? According to the cycles, yes? So Uranus, now that matches up with the maturation of your North Node when everything comes into play, right? But the events that happened in Saturn, in my Saturn cycles, and then because my moon is in Aquarius, what happened with my moon cycles, okay? So really pulling all of that together, plus what the revelations that are coming to you. For me, I don't know how I would be able to explain half of everything if not for Twin Peaks. So things that are actively happening in your life right now to help you figure everything out while you're on this book journey, right? While you're at this point of your life. That is the solution to these empty houses. It's that they needed time to get the answers, but you also need to know that you have a chart. You need to know that you have astrological, you need to know that the solution is astrological. Right there, that just undercuts the psychological and the behavioral, everything. Well, behavioral is tied to psychological, of course, but the chemical, all of that, it just undercuts all of that. Whatever you can solve with those other things, you solve with those other things. But anyway, so if we go back to time of year, what the weather's like and how that affects, right? And I actually, because it's in the dead of winter where I am, and that can go to -50 at times, -40, so that's definitely affecting the activities of the 11th house, the shape of the 11th house. I have there's so many birthdays and anniversaries. Of course, there is Valentine's Day, dreaded for me, Malcolm X. And so I've had heavy I was planning to spend September 1st with Gwendolyn McEwen, and I ended up spending it with Malcolm X. We can argue that whenever, but George Harrison as well, but people that matter to you. But in terms of solving the big picture, Malcolm X is a huge part of that, and I found his connections to France. Now, part of the reason France was calling was because I ended up finding out his ties to France, to the work of Sartre. I've got information on that, but anyway, and music, the houses, I can see how everything's affected at this point. It comes through pretty clearly. And if I can, where did I put the other page? Now I'm gonna leave it up about the marketing, or what would be best to do in the middle days of February. I'm gonna leave that for a little bit. But yeah, so the childhood experiences, if I go back to how closely everything resonates or doesn't, it completely does right now. And that's where it came to me to make note about the empty houses. Yeah, and it really understanding that I needed my North Node and my Uranus cycle. And Uranus opposes my Sun. It's in Libra. It's very close to my North Node and my Pluto. I'm heading towards my North Node and my Pluto. But, yeah, people, Capricorn and Pisces energies, absolutely, I can feel them. The way that I've been, because my third house was in Capricornus, and so yeah, I think if there's anything else to go through in that, I'll mention it next time. But really, tremendous amount. It's fulfilling that everything that I needed to know, it's all coming together, and now it's a matter of what I do with it. That is very much becoming, and I published this in my last, basically in my last Aquarius cycle. So the whole, innovative, revolutionary energy, the, nonconformist, the problem-solving, humanitarianism, all that coming through. But, yeah, the overall energy is the season. The weather, definitely, it's the most affected by the weather for me because it is the coldest. Not that sometimes I prefer the deep cold to the deep heat because there's more you can do. Well, you can die in deep cold, that's for sure. You can die in deep heat though. But to be homeless, to be at risk here in -40, even in -20, but in -40, you're gone, you're done. You're done. So add that to the influence of 11th. 11th seems very, it'd be interesting to chart how much 11th is one of the more affected houses by climate. And of course it would be the flip of this in the southern hemisphere, right? And that's why climate shouldn't be counted in as an aspect of signs, because southern versus northern, it can't be true, right? They're the inversion of each other. So yeah, okay, so what I'll do is I'll pause and then we'll do a reading to start off the Aquarius month, and we're there. Yeah, battery's dying. One other thing I just wanted to say, that on August 31st, for whatever, well, because it's their own anniversary, so it's all a bit strange, but Duran Duran released the anniversary track off their upcoming new album. And so, of course, I waited a day, and then on September 1st I went in, because I know how much Diana loved. I actually do have, hang on, I gotta just do this, because now the point is, of course, that Diana died, was tortured, but it was right after I moved out to PEI. I moved out, I arrived on the 28th, and then she was gone, and it hit in ways that I couldn't explain at the time. I'm not a monarchist. I come from monarchists. My mom and my grandmother absolutely were. And of course they'd love to see the end of that at this point, after what was done to Diana, especially after what the monarchy, the European monarchy, basically the one, there are multiple families, but you know how they're all interconnected. So, but what they did to Diana, because they did do it to Diana. But, so this is the, back when the boys, now of course we need to talk about William owning Serco, and apparently what I found out that, and I hate this, but when you're controlled, you're controlled. And what Harry does with RICO gangs in North America. So, whatever, no, I can't get my code correct for my phone, but so the fact that Duran Duran released their anniversary single and that she died then on, well, no, it wasn't a done deal on the 31st. We know that she was alive and kicking, literally, because the ambulance was rocking. But yeah, no, I didn't find anybody else in the comments making any mention of Diana. But I know that they do open her concert, the concert that the boys organized once upon a time, right? Opened by Duran Duran, and she loved them best. So that's what I wrote. There was one other thing though. In relative to the predictions that we're doing for these months. And let's see, last month I still have to do, I'm still doing the meditation for it, but this Magician came out, right? Now I'm finding that these readings are more and more predictive for this astrology workbook, and I have to let go of reading too much into them because I have to follow and find out what they actually mean as we go. Because I figured it out towards the end of the month. Okay, and I found the Magician because it's David Lynch. And Victoria, back in her full moon in Aquarius Lionsgate reading, she's like, oh, I can't get it. Oh, zoom, Kristen, zoom. Okay, attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the science, right? And David here explaining transcendental, his version of transcendental, through the David Lynch Foundation. Anything that is a thing has emerged from this field of unity. It's oneness. And it's like, no. No, it hasn't been. And here he is with Russell Brand, of course. This is never a good sign. Never a good sign. So, certain helpline, can I help you? Yes. If I say quantum, should it come before or after? No thing. David, is it you again? Please be kind and go get it done. Oh, eat it. I bloody love David Lynch. I could listen to him explaining bullshit, metaphysics, and dodgy pseudoscience all day. Now, there's so much that's true, but again, in true Freemasonic fashion, yes. So there's no, yes. There were more comments in there that I took screenshots of, but I already knew it myself. And so, yes. This is the Magician that they were telling me to keep an eye out for. Why? Because it's given me so many of the answers. Okay, the magic snake charmer. Yes. So we are getting into predictive mode with these readings. Okay, so I'm not going to over interpret. I'm going to get the cards, and then we find out through the month, by the end of the month, what they're on about. Okay. So I've shuffled this one. I'll get as far as I can with the battery. Maybe nowhere. I'll shuffle it once more. I might need to pause for a while I charge up the battery. Okay. And let's see now. Okay, I'm going to take this one. The Chariot. Yeah, that makes sense. I have two of them. What's underneath it? Strength. Okay, let's take those two. Let's take those two. Chariot and Strength. Very good. Oh, look, and even as I pull the deck out, I've got Strength at the top. Now, am I in focus? Let's see if I am. With the wheel right underneath it. Okay. We'll put it back in, of course. We'll put it back in. I'll read Chariot and Strength after. Let's leave it a mystery for a minute here. So we'll just get a few cards. I know that I still need to do the finish. I've been working on them, the meditation videos for Libra for 7th and for Gemini 3rd. And I know right now I'm still the only one that watches them, so I didn't put the pressure on myself. The only thing is if you let too many things fall behind, then it is not fun catching up on them. So it says it's best to keep up with things as much as possible. But it really is go time. It's Chariot time for that beginning of drawing work that I have to get done. Okay, so predictive. Calm my mind, except a card's just going to flip out anyway. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. How true. How true. Okay. All right, at an angle. I'm figuring out that they've got me doing a geomancy thing. If you go into Ethiopia's and however many other countries use geomancy, where you throw bones, you throw objects, yes, and the way they land. Because they didn't use cards, right? So we're incorporating geomancy into this, which I really, really like. It's it really matters how the cards fall. 7 of Wands. Wow. Okay, a lot of, again, so strength echoed. Woo! Opposite direction. So squaring off with the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so Capricorn for me, 10th house. Shall we say 5th house, 6th house. Okay. This squaring, they're pushing against each other. Right, it was that way. Over here, I'll put it there for now, but they are, just so you can see that they are squared against each other. Okay, and this is almost a sextile. Yeah, the work needing to be done between leadership and, well, getting fair pay. Now this is almost not quite parallel to, okay, Hanged Man, Neptune, sacrifice, change of perspective. We had Neptune last time. We had Neptune last time. Okay, so carrying on with, now that's like the uber magician. 12th house, it's the one major arcana. Let's get one more card. Let's get one more card. Maybe. Well, okay, I've got a Queen of Cups here. I've got 6, yeah, okay. She knocked the Knight of Wands to the floor. I'm taking him sideways. He's stuck. Now question is, now moving in the same direction, but through her definitely. Okay, let's just, yes, I think it's for the best. Oh my God. Okay, let's, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. So that's a sub story. That's oh, and the Sun in reverse. Nice. Okay, let's just. Okay, I'll keep those on the table for now. Still have strength. I'm gonna keep the strength then. We've changed, the wheel isn't there anymore. Okay, so. Because, you know, we add too many cards to this and it's like we can't even keep up with the meaning. Let's get an India card. Whoop. Okay. And we want the top one. All right. Strength. Dang. Okay, so let's compare. Okay, let's read Chariot. I'll get up close to the camera. And get all the cards together here. Okay. Continue your struggle. Yes. And the end you seek will be achieved. Honor, acclaim, and recognition are all possible outcomes for you if you do not quit. Well, my pal Tracy was ready to call. My phone made sure I got the alert from her in regular, like, and then you know how your phone can scroll down from the top with notifications, because I've been staying away from everything, and she's like, it's been 5 weeks and I'm going to report you missing. I'm like, okay, I better message her, but I can't stay. She'll want to talk more and figure it all out, and I can't, because I can't come out of the mindset that I need to be in. So absolutely, bare minimum of communicating with people, and there was family crap at the same time. Okay, so if any of that's true, then just keep resisting. Strength. By understanding your true value, you will make the most of a wonderful chance to improve your life. Okay, so that's one strength. The other strength, let's just keep them both in the shot here. Okay, contrast that every challenge is the opportunity for growth on all levels, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Face challenges with courage and know that gentleness is also strong. Yes. So take it easy, be gentle with yourself, because then you stay flexible, right? Persistent, but flexible. I also want to thank Ali's Tarot for getting the insect oracle card for Scorpio the other day, and being like the insects. So if you have a lot of insects in your life right now and they're showing you how to persevere and not be emotionally involved, right? Just survive. So and build, just like the insects would, right? Okay, so beautiful. God, strength, and the Chariot movement, absolutely. Okay, so now in terms of the rest, okay, like the genius I am, I forgot to fix the focus after all. So then I had to go clean a house where two magicians live. They don't know that they're magicians yet. I keep telling them they are, and their house is completely, they're magnificent. Okay, so I've refocused, and while I was gone, I remembered a few things. First, I wanted just to mention that when I was pointing out the flaws in what David Lynch was saying about transcendental meditation, it's not because I'm against transcendental meditation. It's because of the type of it. There was a woman in the comments, she's like, oh my God, I've been doing TM since, like, for the past 26 years, and if I'd listened to his reasoning behind it, I would never have joined it. So no, I would say there's definitely an MK agenda to it, but I still have to thank David Lynch beyond words. So whatever, at his age, he's more than capable of deciding for himself what he's involved in, right? But so I just wanted to say that. Apologies to anybody that I pissed off. If you're still watching, apologies if I pissed you off about thinking that, not being accurate enough in what I was saying about transcendental meditation versus David Lynch. There's other stuff, but I will focus on, well, no, I might as well, since I'm on this wavelength, I'll get back to just finishing up with these cards, although there's really not much more to say, because we know what's going on there. But just a shout out, because in the interim, good old Steve's Day came and went. This is an apron I made when I used to work in the fabric store. Sometimes, well, mostly I refused to wear aprons, but November 15th is Khaki Day in celebration of Steve. And so we had fabric that you print on, so I printed up a photo of him, and then I got into trouble for that. For some reason, they didn't like me invoking him at work, so I didn't get to wear it for too long, a few days, that was about it, but I still have it. So, love you, Steve, love you. And you know what, I just think what he did for us, and I know they killed him. I know it was a stingray, but we know how magic works. So there's that. Then a couple of other things I wanted to correct or add that I forgot, because there's just so much through Gemini and Aquarius. One thing. Another Gemini thing I found were the legions, the Roman legions. We got the way up to 14th. They predate Caesar as well, I believe. But, so this whole look, you can still get a shirt. Why do I do this? And then I know it looks so zoomed in on the video when I start editing it, and I'm like, God, don't get so close to the camera, Kristen. But anyway, okay, so that I wanted to point out was another thing, and the reason why they called them twin armies, because they would fill them up with soldiers from other armies, basically, and boost them right up, so that kind of thing. But also, ironically, with when I was talking about Goethe and connecting to Ganymede, because he wrote the Ganymede poem, not only that, but he took somebody else's story, Lucian, I don't have it in here, but Lucian's his first name, wrote, and Lightbearer, of course, but wrote a version of, wrote a story about Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then Goethe took it, turned it into his version, and then Disney based it off of. And Disney, don't get me started. Don't get me started on pedo Disney. But anyway, go to Fiona Barnett for everything you don't want to know, that you already know but you didn't want to. Or you do. Credit to you. So Goethe not only gives us why do I do that? Gives us an Aquarius connection, but also Sorcerer's Apprentice being the magician, of course, yes, and magician being Mercury, and Mercury ruling Gemini. So that is, thank you, Goethe, for carrying us from Gemini to Aquarius. I feel like I know that there's one or two other things that came into my head, but I was making so many lists already that I was like, no, I'm going to just go with what I can remember. So just to finish up with these cards, really, I think we're working on coming to a full understanding of this Neptune energy, this hangman energy, because he keeps coming through. Something else, and the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups we've had, so this, and that's, for me, that's more Pisces energy. So we're really working on Pisces stuff, 12th house stuff, which makes sense. But again, there were things that I said while the camera was out of focus. But I made a mistake about blue. In the blue rose, blue is, well, it's getting into semantics a bit, but blue, yeah, I'll just call that up. Blue for the Masons is mystery, not secrecy. White would be secrecy. Now let me just see if I can get this fast enough, and I might not be able to. There we go. Okay. So, yellow, mature love, platonic love, constancy. These are, and look how I got it at 11:11. That's the other thing. Good. Okay. One thing's triggering another thing. Pink, motherly love, first love, admiration. Purple, enchantment, royalty, magical, love at first sight. Blue, unattainable, loyalty, mystery. Red, passion, love, zeal, courage, immortality, martyrdom, fervency. White, humility, innocence, purity, light, joy, prayer, right? Because they are white supremacists. And I just finished going through my thesaurus, and luckily it's an older edition, right? All the associations for whiteness and blackness and darkness and lightness and all that stuff, it's all still accurate to what I grew up with. So now, of course, this is what they like to let us know, and there's going to be more to it than that. But the other thing was what happened. Okay, now my phone doesn't want to work. Of course not. They wanted me to take a screenshot at a certain time about Lady of Shalott, I believe. Yes, because of realizing that Laura Palmer is, and that, Twin Peaks is a whole Wicker Man story. It's the best, like I've said, best telling of it. And Laura Palmer being Lady of Shalott in the whole Lord Arthur. King Arthur. Guinevere Lancelot situation, right? Okay, so I look up Lady of Shalott. Then they wanted me to make note of what time I looked her up. So this is something to get you into. They said 6:06. Make note of that time. This is just not even a voice in my head, right? I've only had a voice in my head once when I was 16. And they put me in the psychiatrist's office for that. And then it turned out to be nothing that needed a psychiatrist because I'm psychic. So now usually I get Jewish gematria, but I know there are several kinds of gematria. So you can look it up in as many kinds of gematria as you want. But they want me to do that, and I would suggest this, that if they get you to notice numbers, then go look up the numbers as well in gematria and get additional messages, because this is, yep, words, and it'll just resonate, right? It'll just resonate. And these people are sick is one of the translations of 606. And I was like, yes, dang, they are. Okay, one way or another. So if you look up, that's another way to get messages, apart from this and apart from just knowing in your own mind and getting, you know, information sent your way. But definitely numbers, if you look up, and you probably already know that, but I hadn't actively been getting into that yet. So that I actually quite enjoyed. The first way I ever started accepting messages was in the lids of Jones soda bottles. So, we're looking at, of course we want the sun upright, of course we want lovers at least not afflicting us, right? And we, yes, we're going to allow this to be predictive. This is almost diagnostic. It's clear enough that there's just a lot of work to do right now to finish up and just push, stand your ground. Now whether this has to do with this, we'll find out, but who this Knight of Wands is, if it's you, if it's somebody else. But it looks like it's somebody else because it is in the same direction as this 6, this gift, right? No, it could be you. The gift could help you bet on yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we do have 2 different personas, and we do have 2 cards referencing dual, you know, like a... no, we have 3 cards. We have definitely 3 cards. 3 cards. So that just came out clear. That came out clear, and we've got this Queen of Cups in the upright, looking wanting. Like there's a she's open to something. She's working on something. Yes? So, there we go. And I'm going to leave it at that and carry on. I'm going to get back to publishing or launching the beginning of drawing. I'm making a thumbnail. I've just realized today what's happened, that I got my Hampstead research back. I'll try and make it clear in the thumbnail, but in celebration of that, because I lost it last November or December when it was attacked and taken down because of what I proved in Sloan Bella's case with the death of her son Keith, or basically circumstantially proved enough that the guys keeping an eye on her and me started really sending her even more death threats, and I'm sure they're the same ones shut me down. So, okay, wherever it cut up, but Charlotte and her husband Jakob, they were in it for a year in Hampstead. It was a website, and they were actively, before Charlotte shut it down, she sent out 10,000 emails to professionals in the UK and Europe, alerting them to the child trafficking and alleged, but we certainly built up enough, and she alone built up enough evidence that it's real, out of Hampstead, and well, so many places in the UK, everywhere, there isn't anywhere to go that doesn't have it, but the specifics were tied to Hampstead specifically in this case. And so I had started a Twitter account back in June of 2015. The case broke February 2015. Well, actually it broke before that. It was leaked before that, but it really hit big in February 2015. Well, it was released. It wasn't leaked. Leaked, yes, by the police themselves. Freemasons. But anyway, so having, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. What am I saying anymore? There's nothing to say. Anyway, me and Hampstead, it's been that big a part of my identity for that long that to lose it, I can't say it put me in a crisis because I knew to ride the wave. But when they shut down my Twitter account, which is all that I operated it out of, to great success, or we could say success, we could say effect, is what we could say. So I have some people waiting on me to get back in business, shall we say, but yeah, no, the Blue Rose gives me the new jump start on reshaping to keep themselves safe. And so everybody knows who I am because I've been at it. Well, they were in it for a year. They issued their public warnings back, I think, 2018. So since 2018, it's been me, and I'd be happy to answer on behalf of us all. And I know what I'm saying. Well, yeah, I don't invite grief, but I do believe that once you start something, you carry on with it. So that's really the truth in Twin Peaks, which I have to substantiate, I realize, but getting into this Aquarius energy of what you do with what you know. So it's really quite a beautiful start to House 11, and I have to thank Third House for that. Giving me back my core identity of Hampstead research, which I know I didn't create, but I actually really looked after it. I nurtured it. And I love Charlotte, and I love her husband, and I love what they did. I love who they are. And it brought me to Tracy. It brought me to David. As much as David's not loving me for that right now, but I have to carry on and try and do him justice in the long run. But yeah, and then of course all the souls, all the murder victims that have come into my life because of it, because I'm Hampstead Research. Twitter branch. So, thank you, 11th House. Thank you, Aquarius. Thank you, David Lynch. Even though you probably will see me as an enemy, but I will attempt to tell everything to you. Okay, and that's it for the glorious start to week well, now we're finished week 24. So next week we do, or this week now, we're into the constellation and the sign of Aquarius. Awesome stuff with really big energy right next door in Capricornus. But now that Jupiter's just left Aquarius, yeah, this will be interesting. Okay, shutting up now.